Illana Gambrill, founder of the Kure Method, the dance doctor, movement therapist. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Choreographer.
Choreographer.
Creative director. I wear all the hats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do wear a lot of hats. This is why you stood out to me so much. It's like, oh, she's very inspiring.
Thank
I want to have a
you.
conversation with her. Tell me about the philosophy behind your dance company. What is the Kure?
When you say the philosophy, you mean why it started? What goes on inside of it?
Both.
Okay. So it started because I was in the dance industry. I was working with artists and I was doing everything that I thought my soul and spirit wanted to do. It had to be something to do with dance. But in the midst of living my dream, I was really empty inside. I didn't really feel fulfilled. I felt that the space was exceptionally toxic. And dance for me came around when I was 12 years old because I really needed an escape from my home. My home life was very abusive. My father was very abusive. And I needed to get out of the house of a weekend because my mother would be working. So it would just be me and my father. So I went to a dance school, and within that space, I felt free and I felt alive and I felt fearless and I felt all of the anxiety removed from my body. So for me, dance was immediately therapy. Dance was immediately medicine. So I went and become a dancer, but the industry was hella toxic. So I said, okay, I've got to leave this because I'm not getting the medicine I so desire. Therefore, I ran away to open up my own space that I could provide myself what it was that I've originally got when I was 12 years old. It was at the time called Illana's Adult Dance Class. It was based in a place called Essex in the United Kingdom. The philosophy at that point was just to medicize myself, and whoever came would reap those rewards too. It was also really about I dressed it as a fitness class so that the people could see it as that and be like, oh yeah, I can come and dance and boogie for a minute. And it evolved very quickly from Illana's Adult Dance Class into a company called Dance Box because I knew that I couldn't take Illana's Adult Dance Class where I visualized this space going. Dance Box then existed for 10 years in London, in Essex, in East London, and then moved it to the States in 2024. Throughout the 10 years before even moving here, the philosophy has always been to heal, to help someone release, to help someone feel things they may have suppressed, to help the human being feel like a human being again, as opposed to what the world told you to be, how you told you should look, walk, speak, act, love. I want you to feel it again. And that is truly what I've seen happen in the last decade. Since moving to Los Angeles, I feel like this city is a really big mirror. It's such a big
Couldn't
mirror
agree more.
to what you are and what you are not. And I think the bravest and the ones that will succeed here emotionally, physically, spiritually are the ones that listen to the what you are nots. And I was sitting with where I want Dance Box to go and what it happens within my space. And it didn't feel aligned for it to be called Dance Box anymore. Dance Box sounds like something that you might go and do on Melrose on a Saturday morning to keep your fitness levels up in a dance space. That's not what happens in my spaces. And so I sat with it and I came up with this name because in all the testimonials that I've ever received, there was one word that kept coming up. And that word was, I feel cured. Not that I'm ever saying that anyone is ever broken. I don't believe that. I don't believe we're broken. I don't believe we need fixing, but I do believe we need freeing. And I think within my space, that's what happens. And that's why you feel cured, because you feel like you're alive again. So then the Kure Method was born and only launched like a month ago.
You've only been in business for 1 month?
The Kure has.
The Kure, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But the Dance Box has been going for 11 years.
Is the format the same?
Slightly different.
Okay.
Ever so slightly different. We go a little bit deeper with ourselves and with each other. I never used to do like eye gazing before. And now I think it's really important, especially within the world that we're living in now, where everyone's so insular and so about themselves and in their phones. Like, let's look at each other.
You know what's so funny? I have a question about the eye gazing.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. When you had us eye gaze at each other for at least 10 minutes with a complete and utter stranger, it made me incredibly uncomfortable. And I didn't realize how uncomfortable I was with eye contact because it is quite literally my job to make eye contact with people all day. And I didn't realize how much that made me uncomfortable until I was presented with it in your class. So my question for you was, do you find it makes most of your students uncomfortable? And where did that technique originate?
Yes, it does. I think that, you, for example, just said you look at people all day long. You look in their eyes all day long, but sometimes it's masked with words and it's masked with how you want them to perceive you. In the silence, there is no mask. And I think that's why it feels really uncomfortable. We're not a species that are good with being seen because we came out the womb, a lot of us, I'm not speaking for the entire world, but a lot of us came out the womb and we were taught very quickly to be quiet, to be a good girl, to be a good boy, to sometimes be seen, but not be heard. And that stuff suppresses us. It keeps us wrapped in chains. And then we get to adults and we're like, I don't know how to be. I don't know how to be. I don't know how to be with another human being, so to speak. So yeah, I actually taught on Monday night and did the eye gazing and everyone was so uncomfortable. Giggling through it, talking through it until I really silenced the room. Tears were flowing. People were softening. The shoulders were dropping. Humans were feeling safe to be seen. And the reason I do it is because of everything I've just said. I want human beings to be seen. I want human beings to be understood. And I think in a society that is turning really robotic very, very quickly and has been for a long time, we need these moments. What was the other question? Why do I do it?
The other question was, why do you incorporate it into your teachings?
Because it's a very exposing space, what I do. A lot of people come because they want to release, but I'm asking you to release in a way that is exposing your body and being so vulnerable in that. And when you get to look at someone in the eyes and feel safe and seen, there's a wall that goes down. Like, I'm safe to be vulnerable in this space. I'm safe to be seen in this space. I think that when people are... Okay, so after you look into each other's eyes, I ask you, I don't know if you remember, to claim something you saw that is not of the physical space. Mm-hmm. And someone would say, like, I see her bravery, I see her this, I see, the beauty that within her, like her heart is so pure. Someone claiming that over you is such a beautiful thing. It's always like, oh, I like your jacket. Oh, I like you this. Oh, makeup's cute. But what about your soul? When someone says, I see you, you're like, there's a chain that just got unlocked there. And then it feeds into the rest of the class. Mm-hmm. Then obviously you're led by me, which is like a powerful bitch, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
No, I mean, I give a lot of permission slips. I act like a fool myself. So in turn, I wouldn't say fool, but I act boldly and bravely in the space. So it gives you the permission to do the same.
Yeah, you're a good leader in that way.
Thank you.
It's funny you say exposed. A lot of my content revolves around the fear of being seen, especially in regards to posting. A lot of people want to be content creators or they want to share their stories. And I think every person has a story to tell, but they're too afraid to get on camera and say it and then expose themselves to potentially millions of people viewing this piece of content. So a lot of my content is about fuck the fear of being seen, essentially. And I still have a lot of obstacles to get over when it comes to the fear of being seen. There are some blocks that I put up for myself in terms of the topics I will speak about. But for the most part, I've done very well with overcoming that fear until I took your class. Wow. And I was like, oh my God, there is a lot within myself that is coming up right now. Like the fear of my own femininity. I pushed that away more than I realized because I thought I was embracing it till I had to move in a more feminine way. And then the fear of exposure. I've gone through a lot of pain in my life. I might be young, but I've gone through quite a lot. And I felt like the person staring at me was viewing everything I've gone through on a silver platter without words being spoken. I hadn't felt that vulnerable in quite some time, even though I'm very good with being vulnerable in my speech. And then I do remember the words being shared throughout every single person in the circle. And everyone got a really lovely compliment. And the person across from me said, trying to be comfortable. And I was like, God damn it, that's what I got.
But that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because that's something that you can actively work on, because that is the truth.
It is the truth.
You.
She saw me very uncomfortable, looking away, laughing, until I tried to calm down. But to be honest with you, I was feeling the discomfort in my body the entire time. Maybe over time that will dissipate.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
First classes are the most triggering. Yeah, because they're a mirror.
They are a mirror. And it's funny you say Los Angeles is a mirror, because I've never viewed it in that light. But this city will expose your flaws and bring them to the surface.
Ugh.
And it's also very image obsessed, which nags at people's insecurities, myself included. And sometimes I feel very uncomfortable walking throughout Los Angeles. I might be confident for the most part, but like I said, all of us have our insecurities, and I feel like this city highlights those insecurities. You have to get Botox, you have to have perfect skin, you have to have a perfect body, otherwise you're ignored. I don't know if you would agree with that, but this city does. Maybe it's just because I live in the middle of Hollywood, but
No, I agree with you. It definitely has got a very different vibration to London, which I'm very, I lived in London for 37 years. I moved here and I was seeing things within my face or within my body that I would never even have seen or think about in London. The beauty of the work that I've done throughout my life means that I get to say, fuck that shit, and stay exactly who I am. And grow and evolve authentically. And I want you to see my laughter lines. I want you to see my life. I want you to see what's gone on in my world through my face. I also don't want to look like a clone. That's like my worst fear. So I think that it brought it up as soon as I moved here. It said, let me show you all of your insecurities, you. And I said, go on then. And it took me about a year to be like, Illana, come back to yourself, sweetheart. Because I'm not about to let a city rule who I am. By the way, my work is about being authentically yourself. And if there is no real ones around, we're going to be fucking ruled by robots and clones. I don't want that for myself or the people I lead. I had to do a lot of work on myself moving here, and I thought, I've done a majority of the work since before moving. Wow, this place said, "Bitch, buckle up." Seriously.
yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you.
I grew up here too.
Wow, I didn't know you were an LA
native.
a Los Angelian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Born and raised in the middle of Hollywood.
Let's have a hug after this.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. But I also grew up in an interesting generation because I'm 29. I'll be 30 in January. But
Capricorn queen.
Capricorn, yeah, January 3rd. I grew up in the last generation that didn't have the touchscreens.
Thank God.
I missed it by a hair. Thank God I had that, because I was a very athletic kid, so I was constantly outside. I never wanted to be on any screens, even TV. I always played sports. So I'm very grateful I had that childhood. But social media was introduced when I was a freshman in high school, or Instagram. But this was back when Instagram was really about sharing photos with friends, and that was about it. I skipped not skipped, but I was already an adult by the time advertising got put into the social media platforms. And I think that's when image started to change. But now I'm witnessing the generation below me coming to terms with these drastic insecurities that never would have come to play if social media wasn't where it is today.
I do wonder. I grew up with the Kate Mosses and the Naomi Campbells and the Spice Girls being rammed in my face in magazines, and everyone had magazines. I had a weekly subscription to a magazine. So it's almost like that, but the accessibility. I had to go to a store, I had to buy the magazine, I had to be... The accessibility now, yes, has ramped up to 1,000,000%. I do agree. But I do think to some degree it's been around for my entire life too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point as well. And I think growing up in Los Angeles, the only difference is that it was amplified. The excess was amplified.
You live in Hollywood.
You live in Hollywood, and not only do you have it on your screen, but you have it in the person in front of you.
On your doorstep, yes.
I mean, the other day I went to the doctor's office. I was in Beverly Hills. I went to this little coffee shop, and I was like, I'm going to get a cortado. I walk in there. It's like Hot Girl Central. All those aloe models standing in one coffee shop. And I was like, oh my God. And I started to get insecure, which is the way I felt about myself in high school. So that got brought to the surface. I was like, oh shit, this is still something I have to work on. It's easy for those insecurities to come up, even though you think you've done so much work on yourself, and you have. But that's why Los Angeles is a mirror, because it brings those to the surface. You go, oh no, you still have something to work on. And you should probably work on it sooner rather than later.
That part, but also I think the understanding and the knowledge that we will always, until the day we die, have something to work on. So give ourselves grace in the fact that things will still creep up, even though you've done extensive work on it. It will always creep up in different ways, shapes or form. Maybe it's not going to be as like palpable and really intense as it was before. But I do believe that we are here to continuously learn, continuously grow. Please God, I make it to 80 or 90 years old. I do believe at 90 years old, I'll still be saying fuck it, but there'll be something in the back of my head that might say something that overrides that sometimes. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, it's never quite finished.
Never.
The work on yourself is never quite finished.
No.
And there will always be something.
I agree.
You emulate confidence and femininity. Was that a quality that came naturally to you, or was it something you had to develop over time?
So I really distinctively remember being that 12-year-old kid that started dancing, and my dance teacher at the time, I was absolutely obsessed with her. She was exactly what I needed in my life. She gave me so much confidence, because as soon as I started dancing with her, by the way, I'd never danced before, I just knew that I had this like in me to do it.
Yeah.
She would speak on what she saw. And she even said, as a 12-year-old kid, she was like, this is very inappropriate, but when you dance, you are so sexy. There's something about you that's just so sexy and present. And I felt that. And as a 12-year-old kid, to feel alive like that and feel like all the sparkly juices running through my body, I'm going to be inclined to say it was always there. I was also a very sexual kid. Like I was always very, like my mum caught me masturbating like as a like 5-year-old, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I was so charged. I always have been. And my mum would never shame me for that. I'm a human being at the end of the day, and some people come in early. Like I started my period so early. I was 10 years old.
Oh, you were 10?
Yeah. And to my teacher as well, when she saw it, she was just like, you're giving like 18-year-old energy. I also come from a long, long line of women on my mum's side that were so suppressed, so abused by their partners, sexually and feminine and in their feminine. And it was almost like I came to eradicate that, and I didn't know. I didn't know until I left my husband when I was 32.
Wow.
And I started doing a lot of deep work on myself, on my body, on my mind. And it all started coming up, this like feminine suppression. And it was a lot of big work for my lineage. I was having mad dreams of all the women that came before me, like sitting on a couch like this, chatting to me. And like I was witnessing like things falling from their bodies, like emotions and dust. And just crazy stuff. But although I'm deeply feminine, I've been working from and leaning into only my masculine. Like my dick is always hard. Always hard. And that is why as well. It's always erect. And it's funny, I had this beautiful healer in London, and I was toying with during my visa process whether I was going to move to LA or New York. And she was like, get in the bath, be in the bath, be with your body and ask this question. And even if it doesn't come straight away, you'll figure it out. I was laying in the bath and I was like super in my femininity. And I just wanted to remain there and be soft and not have to be in my business brain and be in my masculine the whole time and on the chase and on the hunt and protective mode. I wanted to soften. And I heard like a whisper, LA. It has to be LA. Because although this space still makes me, I run a business on my own. Of course, I'm going to have a hard dick. But it also come from a space of softness now and a bit of a feminine knowing. I needed that. I needed to balance it out because my body was feeling it. I was so masculine all the time.
Yeah.
Spiritually. The way I dress, sometimes I speak to all my friends, they're like, no, you're very feminine. No, I feel like I'm quite masculine sometimes. I'm sat here in a fucking blazer.
You still make it look feminine to me.
But, I
look at me. I'm one of those people that's like, no, you're feminine.
Yes. and it happens to be all of my masculine presenting friends that are like, you're so feminine. But I'm not, I don't feel it. I feel like I'm walking the streets in a protective masculine manner. Not in LA though.
Not in LA.
No. I even approach business meetings in my femininity. There's a flow, there's a softness, there's a knowing. There's not this like chase and harshness that I used to have in London and what I would definitely have in New York.
Oh yeah, in New York?
My God.
For sure.
I'd be erect 24/7. Not be healthy.
I'm loving this analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now my vagina talks more. Good for me.
Good for you.
Good for me.
It should. It really should. You emulate both, but in the spaces I've seen you in, you've been very feminine. That's something I admire. I think a lot of women will look for that in their partners. They'll look for a partner that will allow them to soften into their femininity.
Yes.
Because women are, obviously we don't live in the 1900s, the early 1900s or the 1800s. Women are obviously working. And I think you have to be more in your masculine when you're in the business space. At least that's what society pushes on us, right? You have to be more masculine in this particular space. I think a lot of women will look for that softening in their partners. And I admire the fact that you've been able to give that to yourself.
Truly. Because I was in a marriage that didn't allow me to, I didn't know at the time, but I wasn't allowed to just be held and be soft. And I used to leave my job, which, as you see, it's very like giving and hot, and I'm screaming and I'm shouting and I'm pouring. And then I'd come home. At the time, I didn't know how to regulate my own nervous system after teaching 60 to 100 women to power themselves up. And I just needed to be held. And I'd never had that. I went on a trip on my own post my divorce. And I didn't tell anybody what I did. I said I didn't have an Instagram, that I only knew my first name. And I wanted to see what happened with the people I was meeting. And before I knew it, one girl was offering me water massages where they just hold your back and just float you around. They're like, you just need so much love and so much just TLC. Until that happened, and it happened with everyone I was meeting on this trip, I didn't realize how deprived I was. I learned so intensely how to self-soothe that I didn't know I needed it. And now all my friends know. Babe, I need a cuddle. Babe, I need to be held. Babe, I need you to play with my hair. Babe, I need you to just let me be a woman. I need you to lead me. Lead me. I need to be led. And that's where I'm at now. That's also Los Angeles has given me that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I quite often hear the opposite with people living here because they feel like they have to protect themselves and put a coat of armor on. The city does make you feel very exposed. So I like that it's done the opposite for you.
Yeah. Completely done the opposite for me.
Women are so sexy.
Bro. Bro.
I don't know if I've ever said that flat out on this podcast.
Well, that's going to be the energy of me.
Yeah,
just
it's the energy of
say
you.
it all.
Just, yes. I usually don't speak much about that. I'm very quiet about my personal life in that way, especially on social media. But I mean, my audience knows I'm gay as fuck. So I knew from a very young age. My mom knew when I was 5, which was, it's a very adorable story. But I was walking around Macy's. I think it was Macy's. I don't know. It was some kind of department store. And I was running to the boys section because I was a little tomboy. That never changed. It was always masculine presenting. From the second I was conscious, do not put me in pink. Do not put me in a dress. I would freak out.
Okay.
My mom knew, or I had an indication from that alone. So I was running to the boys section. And then I stopped in my tracks and I looked at a woman over at the makeup counter. And my mom goes, "What?" And apparently I was like, that girl makes me have stars in my eyes.
Oh my God.
5 years old, I
Juliet.
had no idea what I was saying. And my mom goes, "Okay." And that was basically
But
it.
that's so beautiful.
Yeah. It's just the child innocence because I had no idea what I was saying. I had no
Right.
idea that society was going to deem it incorrect.
Right.
But my mom was like, "Oh, my kid is gay for
But
sure."
imagine if society, there was no such thing as it must be man and woman. Imagine if society was, you love who you want to love. How different you would be today.
Oh, yeah.
How different you would feel about yourself. And those insecurities that you spoke about just previously, they wouldn't fucking be there.
Probably not.
You might be insecure about other things, but that part of you would be wide open.
Yeah.
I witnessed so many people suppressing, knowing deeply and suppressing, and what that did to them and how it changed them and how sad that is to witness. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased that you are out and proud. Why
Oh
the
yeah, and I'm
fuck
just
not?
gay too. There's no fluidity in me whatsoever. I appreciate men. I
Right.
think men are beautiful in their ways, but no, not for me. They do
And
nothing for me.
I appreciate that. I understand it.
Yeah. It's
Willies are ugly.
wasn't thinking about that. Romantically, I know for a fact that I couldn't fall in love with a man. I tried.
You tried?
Back in that suppression, I was a teenager. And I knew it was a subconscious thought in the back of my head, but I knew that the girls were making me nervous. I kept trying to date men. And my poor mother was like, just come out already. Poor kid. But my dad had a really rough time with it, and I knew he would have a rough time with it. I think because of that, I pushed it down. I was like, I'm not this, I'm not this. And I kept searching for the next feeling in the next boy. Like, it's not this one, maybe it's this one. And I wasn't getting the feeling that my friends were talking about. And then I kissed a girl and I was like, oh, and I remember the first time I really kissed a girl, she left and I sobbed because I was like, oh, I'm not even bisexual. It was this crying, just, oh, I'm gay. There's nothing I can do about that. This is who I am. And I was 17 at the time. Came out the next day.
Thank God. You
Thank
didn't
God.
like let it suppress and let it sit and let it. Thank God.
I just knew. I was like, oh, that's the feeling I've been missing. And I kept searching for it. So I just sobbed.
And here we are.
Here we are,
Thank
12
God.
years later.
And I'm so grateful that you came out and you're doing your thing and you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and even by doing.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Thank
what we're
you.
here for.
Yeah. You said something in the class you taught that stuck with me. Stop being small and polite. What exactly does that statement mean to you?
So much. I grew up, and like I said at the top of this conversation, with a really abusive father. and an incredible mother. But my father was very much like, he'd whittled me down to a spirit that didn't really exist. So I then walked around with very small, very polite, wouldn't speak, very scared to say the wrong thing, turn up in the wrong outfit, unless I looked absolutely perfect, which what the fuck does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
Perfection doesn't exist, which is what I also talk about in my class. It's like everything I say within my space, and any leader that is a good leader and a good facilitator, they will be speaking from experience. They can't preach and ask you to be something and help yourself in something unless they've gone through it themselves. So if you are a leader and you are doing that, stop. I was that little girl. I was polite and I was small and I was caged and I felt so. I contorted my body to fit into boxes that I did not belong in, which meant breaking me completely. Like I was smashed into smithereens. When my father left our lives, I then was starting to rebuild myself, and I don't know how. I think it is going to dance school and at 12 years old and giving myself that purpose and that passion that I so had. So what do I mean by it? I mean that a lot of adults have got to adulthood and they are still scared. I don't know what made them scared, whether it's society's voice, whether it was some kid in school that used to say things about them and keep them locked into that knowledge of themselves that doesn't exist, because that person was only speaking from their own four walls that they place around themselves. Whatever it is, and I'm talking for humanity, I'm not just talking about women, there is something that is suppressing us and keeping us small. That's going to be individual to you. What do I mean by it? Is fucking jump out of it. What does it mean to jump out of being small for you and being polite and being a people pleaser? What does it mean for you? If I speak to you and it somehow resonates, then you know why. You need to then go off and do the work and figure out what it is that's keeping you safe, keeping you in the job that you hate, stopping you from saying I love you to the person that you love, stopping you from being exactly who you wish to be, not what the world told you to be. I'm not polite. I'm very kind. I'm not polite. I say what I want. I mean what I say. I say what I desperately want you to hear, even if it's uncomfortable. Because if I'm going to stay polite and I'm going to stay small, why was I given this gift of life? I want to get to my deathbed, and I'll always say this, and I want to say I did, rather than I wish. I'd rather do that. If I was still polite and if I was still small, I wouldn't be sat in this chair right now. I wouldn't be in Los Angeles. I'd be living in my small town in London, praying and wishing for something else. So that's why I say don't be polite and don't be small. Go fucking live your life. Go grab it by the fucking clitoris. Please.
You corrected yourself.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to grab it by the balls.
No. Don't
Grab it by
the
my
balls.
clit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The number one regret on deathbeds is I lived my life for other people.
Mate.
The number one regret. That, and I wish I spent more time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Those
part.
two. But the number one, statistically, is I lived my life for other people instead of myself. And none of us are getting out of this game alive.
Correct.
None of us are getting out of it alive. So
Correct.
why are you so fucking small?
Right.
Be loud. You said this.
Mm-hmm.
Be loud. Be expressive.
Mm-hmm.
Without the self-development that I have gone through, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair either.
No.
I used to tell myself things like, I don't belong in front of the camera. I want to be behind the scenes. It's like, no, fuck that. I have a voice and I have a story, and I think it'll resonate with people and it might actually help. And I think you're doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I also think that there's a lot of people that talk and a lot of people that say, I'm in my growth era and I'm in my work era trying to work on myself. And a lot of people isolating themselves in that moment. But what got me to where I am today is action. So we can still be growing and doing the work on ourselves whilst in action. Because I could say, bitch, I'm healed from all the pain, from the marriage, from this. But unless I'm in a relationship, let's say, I don't know. I don't know if that person will trigger me and how I will react to that unless I'm in action. Unless you are sat here and you're uncomfortable or coming to places like my class and uncomfortable, unless you're in the action, how do you know if you're evolving?
You don't.
You don't.
There's no way you could possibly know.
So you have to be uncomfortable. You have to put yourself in situations that make you grow or fail, which is a great thing. Did I speak about this in class?
I don't think so.
Fail as
Maybe you
often
did.
as you fucking can. We as a fucking society have made failing a bad thing. It is an excellent thing to fail, because how the fuck do you learn otherwise?
And how do you pivot off of those failures?
How-
I don't believe in failure. I think
Tell
every
me.
single failure, quote unquote, is a lesson that points you in the right direction.
Correct.
Rejection is redirection.
Correct.
So failure isn't a thing to me.
Correct.
As long as you keep trying, you're bound to succeed. Consistency is everything, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about the thing is not doing the thing. I
Talking
say that
about-
all the time.
Even the Instagram quotes that you'll see, like we just said about, getting to our deathbed and wishing we never lived for other people. Well, you can say that to your blue in the face, but are you putting action into that? Are you still people pleasing? Are you still dressing to please other people? Are you still speaking to please other people? Like, for example, a bit like you, people hit me up on DMs all the time. Why'd you swear so much? Bitch, it's who I am.
Yeah, it's who you are.
Am I supposed to change for you?
And sometimes there's really no other word. You need the emphasis.
Listen, of course, if I'm on KTLA and they say don't swear, I say I got you. I worked at UCLA the other day with a bunch of Gen Zs. I did not swear once. Brilliant. I will tailor myself to that specific. Listen, if I'm on air and they say don't swear, I won't. But this is my platform you're coming to. I'm going to do whatever I want to do and how I want to be. And if that offends you, there's a million other people in the world that you can look at. Go and look at them. If I stop myself being who I am, who the fuck do you want me to be?
Yeah.
You?
Also, that person isn't right for your platform.
Correct.
Because the other thing about building a personal brand is it has to be personal. It is quite literally in the
Correct.
name.
Correct.
If you are anybody else, you're not going to attract the people who need you.
That part.
That's what it's for. That person isn't for you. Okay, get off my page. I'm not going to change for you. And not just digitally, but in the real world as well. If someone doesn't like you, and people are inevitably not going to like you. And it's usually about them. It has nothing to do with you.
But that's great.
And that's great.
We haven't got the capacity for the whole world to like us. I don't know why these things are deemed negative. It's not negative. It's a good thing. You have your people, they have their people, and so on and so forth. It's how the world works. Like, if you don't like me, I'm so okay with that. I'm so okay with that. That took a long time.
It does take a long time. You also have to push past a biological survival wiring, because we are evolutionarily wired to get everyone to like us.
Right.
When we were hunter-gatherers, if we weren't liked, if we weren't accepted, that quite literally meant death. You're cast out of the tribe, and then you're on your own. And usually when that happened, you couldn't survive the cold, or you couldn't survive hunting on your own. So you quite literally have to push past a survival instinct that exists within us. And I say all of that, if you're struggling with this, which I still do, be kind to yourself. This shit takes a long time. But we don't live in that society anymore. People aren't going to like us because they aren't going to like us. And usually it has something to do with themselves and nothing to do with you.
You read the 4 Agreements?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you haven't, listeners, go read it. It's life-changing.
Yeah, that's such a good one. I love books like that. I'm a very spiritual person. Yeah, people aren't going to like you. And that is a good thing, because then you push, it's like the trash taking itself out.
No,
you
for
push
real.
out the people who aren't for you.
Yeah.
And most people aren't going to be for you.
Correct.
We also don't have the capacity to care about a lot of people at once.
That's what I'm saying.
It's also exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up I had a friendship group. I always felt a little like the odd one out. I always felt like I wasn't,
Oh, I felt that way too. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah, no,
but
you're good.
Yeah.
I didn't almost fit the mold, but I tried so desperately to fit the mold. And I definitely at one point was the mold. I just felt like there was such a disconnect, but I didn't I didn't mind it. I thought that's what the world was. I thought that's what it was like. And I also thought that this is what girls were like when you'd leave the room and feel so deeply insecure that you're being spoken about. Until I actually did walk away from that friendship group and see what is out there and the beauty that is out there and the truth that is out there. And I was like, oh, goodness me, imagine. But I know that, you know, small town mentalities, it's the same thing with my marriage to the guy. I was very like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is the evolution of, you know, from our mums to us to then their kids, our kids. And I was just like, I felt like I was in this like vortex I didn't want to be in. And then I removed myself, went all over the world and saw what was out there. And I was like, imagine I just stayed because I wanted to be liked and I wanted to fit in and I wanted to seem like I had all my shit together, and I really did. No one would ever know that my marriage was suffocating me because I never told anyone. I wanted everyone to think I had my shit together. Imagine lying your whole life just to make sure people thought something of you. Oh! Yeah. And I think those people probably look at me now and are a little bit like, I'm so out of or away from the life they lead that I think they probably look at me and be like, oh, poor her, doesn't have a man, doesn't have a kid. I couldn't be happier. Could not be happier.
Yeah.
Truly, every crevice of my being. I wake up every day, put my feet on the floor, look at my surroundings, my beautiful apartment in LA, the sun shining through, the things I get to do, the people I get to meet. And I'm like, I say thank you 3 times. Truly mean it, truly feel it. Close my eyes, and then I start my day. And I've never felt like that before. Only the last sort of 14 months.
You really do live in gratitude.
Oh.
Yeah. And you're living your life for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else. Mm-hmm. If you were living it for anyone else, you would have a man and you would have a child. And there's nothing wrong with that path. It's just not the path for you.
It's not the path for me. I do look at my friends back home that have that, and I think it's so beautiful for them. And I love that for them. And I love their children deeply. Just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It one day was. Really, truly, that's all I wanted to be as a mum. And then I one day woke up. I was in Tulum with these new friends that I'd made. It was Christmas Day, I was on the beach. And I was running towards the sea on my own. All my friends were behind me. These people I'd known for like 2 weeks. But they knew me better than anyone. Like, I can't explain it. It was very deeply, deeply spiritual, that space. And I was running to the sea and I was like, I don't want kids. I just started screaming it. And it was like this liberation.
Yeah.
And all these like bricks were falling off my shoulders. I don't want kids. I love my life. I love that I'm in Tulum right now on Christmas Day, saying yes to whatever the fuck I want to say yes to. Meeting new humans and learning from them and growing from them and being able to just wake up and live for myself. That's the exact path I want to be on. I remember calling my mum because my brother doesn't want children. And I remember calling my mum and being like, Mum, how do you feel? And she went, Illana, I literally had this conversation with Matt, her partner, the other day. She said, I was watching your stories of you living your life in Tulum. And I said, I hope she doesn't want kids. I said, Mum, that means you're not going to get any grandchildren. She said, Illana, if the bloodline stops at you, I'm so happy with that because I'm the youngest. That permission, not that I needed it, but the feeling of me wanting to give my mother more from me, she said, Illana, all I want is for you to live your life fully and completely. And I said, period. Like, you've given me life. She doesn't want me to live it how society wants me to live it. She said to me, go do whatever you fucking want to do with whoever you want to do it with. I said, that's my girl. That is my girl.
God, you have a great mom. You have a great mom.
Yeah, mate.
A good mom will do shit like that and they will say shit like that. They don't want you to live for anyone but you. And a lot of moms will live vicariously through their children. or have a life set up for their child in their own mind. That's something my dad still needs to let go of. You have a life thought out for me, and I'm never going to fit that mold, my dude.
My dear.
Never going to fit that mold.
No. But she's very, very, very special. You said about the deathbed thing, I wish I spent more time with my family. When I lived in London, that woman was joined to my hip. But obviously I'm here. That's the only hard thing.
Do you talk to her every day?
Every day.
Oh,
every
yeah,
morning.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I had the same relationship with my mom. I called her so many times a day for everything. Got to the point where I was relying on her so much I didn't know what to do without her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then she passed away about 5 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. God, we were so close. We had the same exact relationship that you have with your mom. And she was the same way. She was like, do whatever the fuck you want.
Wow, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
What's her name?
Candace.
Well, let's hope Candace is here right now.
She is.
She's always
around.
here.
She's always around. The other day I was walking in a shop just because it reminded me of her. I walked in there and I was like, oh my God, she would love this. The jewelry, she used to wear these very colorful, flowy blouses. And I walked in there because I saw one. And oh my God, sorry.
No, please.
Her song was Dancing Queen. Not 30 seconds I'm in this shop, that song comes on. You know when the way that I describe it is, you know when someone plucks a hair and you just start tearing up?
Yeah.
And you're tearing up before you even realize you're tearing up? That's how I felt. It was immediate. And I was like, oh, hang on.
No, she was definitely there.
She was, yeah. And then one of my best friends walked in and he was like, are you okay? And I just pointed up. He goes, oh. And he just gives me this big hug. I've known him for 15 years. He's my heart and soul.
Wow, I'm glad you have that.
Yeah. I have really good friends that knew her.
That's cool.
And had a relationship with her. So they know how big of a loss that was. I speak about her on every single episode, but I think she's supposed to come to mind.
Oh,
every single
1,000,000%.
episode. Yeah.
Speak to her and about her every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that you have the relationship you have with your mom. Obviously, you're living your life and you shouldn't live it for anybody else. Keep in contact with her as much as possible.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a person who struggles with crippling insecurity?
I get asked this question a lot within my class. I sometimes do a Q&A at the beginning of my classes. It's an easy thing to say. It's not an easy thing to do. But I grew up with intense insecurities. I had an eating disorder from 16 years old. I healed myself by 22 years old. Those things still live within my body and in my mind. But every day, I simply say, when insecurities creep up, when I see people walking around the streets deeply, deeply swollen with insecurities, I say, just say fuck it. Just say fuck it. Just say fuck it. Every day, if something creeps up into my brain, I say fuck it as often as I can. It helps when I say this in a class environment because everyone's screaming and cheering for them and loving on them and supporting them, and that allows the energy of insecurity to dissipate. If you're not around powerful women screaming your name and supporting you, one foot in front of the other every day, because you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here. And the insecurities you're feeling, ask them, why are you here? Why are you here? Why do you live within my body? Where does it come from? I'm not saying make friends with it, but I'm asking to identify it and name it. And then ask it to leave with love. It's a conversation that happens every day because we're human. No one's got their shit together. No one. Not even the bitches you see on the red carpet in Hollywood. I teach some of them. Why do you think I teach them? They need it. I need it.
Have you ever heard it's idiots all the way up?
Yeah. It is.
It's a very harsh way of putting it, but it's basically just another way of saying nobody knows what they're doing.
No.
Even the top 0.001%.
Absolutely.
Nobody really knows what they're doing.
And another thing to eradicate that insecurity is to stop comparing yourselves to other people. That will, number one, steal your joy, but it will, number two, just keep you low on the totem pole.
Absolutely.
And I just told you, people on the red carpet that you'll see down Hollywood Boulevard, when there's a premiere on, I'm teaching some of them.
I also think it is especially detrimental to compare yourself in general. But if you're just starting, if you're pursuing acting, for example, and you're comparing yourself to Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie, why are you doing that? Why? You're going to prevent yourself from even starting. You cannot possibly compare yourself to the person who has quite literally made it to the top when you were just starting.
One of them. I want you. What do you provide?
Yeah.
That's going to make the world keep turning. I want another Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Every person has their own unique perspective or stance. Blueprint. That's a better word. Yeah.
One of one. We're all one of one. That's really magical.
How do you block out the noise?
I silence the noise by movement.
Movement is medicine.
Movement is medicine. There's so much noise. It's at the tip of our fingers. It's on my doorstep. I move to get into my body. If I'm in my body, I'm not up here.
It's so real.
It's so
real. I tell all of my clients that too.
Yeah.
A lot of them struggle with anxiety or stress.
Yeah.
I mean, every single person here does. Every single person struggles with some type of stressor in their life.
Yeah.
When you get into your body and out of your mind, it is the most present you can possibly be. And then the energy moves from your mind into your body and then out. And it can go out through sweat. This might sound kind of gross, but I always hug my clients at the end and they're like, I'm sorry, I'm sweaty. And I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Release that shit.
Yeah.
Release everything that's up here. It's coming out of your body.
Right.
You need that.
Movement and music, it gives that human being that sense of like, I can be someone now. It's like you're clear. You know, like driving along, windows down, best song on, sun shining. You feel alive. These little moments, find them, move, breathe, play your favorite song, cook your favorite meal. All these things, romanticizing your life, helps heal your life. Take it back to the basics. We don't need all the fancy shit.
No.
You don't need it.
No.
It actually keeps you wanting more, feeling like you have less. Please.
That's very simple at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's so simple. Anyway.
Do you have any closing statements?
You don't need fixing, you need freeing.
Oh, that's such a good one. You were ready with that.
Yeah.
You had that in the back of your...
Yeah, bitch. We are not sick. We are underexpressed. Please do with that what you will. You are not unwell. You are underexpressed. Express yourself verbally, physically, spiritually. Please use your body as your vessel to heal your life. However that lands with you, do with it what you need to do with it. And free yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're the best.
Thank you.
Your teachings are fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.